Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals. Welcome to Game 3 of this best of 3. It's from the Go for SC2 monthly finals. Game 1 and 2 have been pretty special, but we'll talk about that in a minute. First, who have we got playing? In the top left position of Belshire, we have got the red Protoss player from Neurosoft, Welmu. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right, the orange Zerg from Team Acer, Bly. So, Bly, Welmu. Game 1, Bly. Game 2, Welmu. Game 2 was funky. Legit. If you haven't left me a comment, just being like, WTF to that game, I'll be shocked. Because that was really... what was going on there, guys? It was a base race of base races, and I just don't know sometimes. Sometimes I honestly just sit here casting, I'm just like, how did that just happen? Why did that just happen? You just want to be like, ugh. I'm just not going to cast Game 3. As a principle, I just shouldn't. I should stop, not upload this, because my goodness. But then the sensible side of my brain comes in and goes, like, do you know what? It may have been a bit strange while you're doing it, but looking back, reflecting upon it, it was pretty darn funny. It was like those embarrassing moments you had as a kid, which weren't actually that embarrassing, but when you were a kid, they seemed like the world was ending. Like, oh my goodness, how could that happen? Like... I'm trying to think of an example of one. Okay, this is a really embarrassing story, but when I was like a real little kid, like 4, on one of my first days of school, I forgot to wear shoes to school. Don't ask how that happened, I just forgot to wear shoes. I didn't notice until about lunchtime when my teacher pointed out to me that I wasn't wearing shoes. And I then got so upset that I refused to actually go back to lessons until one of my parents brought me some shoes in, which was about an hour and a half later. So, yeah, looking back, it's actually pretty funny, and I would just laugh that off now if somehow I went to work or went to a LAN without shoes and just be like, herp derp, no shoe day. But back then, end of the world, absolutely catastrophic, and that's how I felt, bringing it all back to the original point I was making about Game 2. It was pretty funky, and I was just like, why at the time? But looking back, it was cool. So anyway, this game, completely different opening from Welmu. He's gone for a gateway opening. He could still expand out of this really nicely. The Overlord coming in sees there's no expansion yet, no pylon on the low ground, so knows something's up. Could just be a little bit of Zealot, Zealot Stalker harassment with a Mothership Core. That's the most likely thing, just because there's the 2 gas down. It gives you enough gas to get that Mothership Core out now. With 16 workers on the minerals, it's really a nice point to get it. Alternatively, it could come down after the Nexus and we could get a Sentry. So, this is just a really defensive one-gate opening. Maybe worried that Bly was going to go for something super aggressive, but Bly has gone for the same build that he's done in every game so far. Pull, hatch, gas. And that's strange because, obviously, as I've mentioned in Game 1 and 2, he hasn't got his third down for quite a long period of time. And not getting a third in Game 1 didn't work out too badly for him. His Ling Hydro Aggression build worked really nicely. It was super effective. Game 2 though, Welmu was on it. He had it down so good. Like, I don't know whether he was wearing his lucky pair of shoes or not, but he was definitely making it work. Maybe he wasn't wearing any shoes. I hear that works out quite well sometimes. Just never to me. Anyway, this is looking relatively fine. Mothership Core coming down nice and early, so it can start banking up energy. The wall off, on its way, the Overlord. Seeing all. This is vision from Bly, as you can see quite nicely from the overlay. And yeah, Overlord just sitting there being like, yo, I can see you getting a wall off. I guess you must be expanding. But the big difference with this game compared to the other ones is there's no 6 Zerglings for Bly. That is a real big difference to what he's done. He actually got none. He is going to come and take his third quite a bit sooner. So the only thing really he did to delay this third base was get out speed. He's still got all 3 drones in gas and also got an evolution chamber out. So this is quite interesting in itself, this evolution chamber here. He's probably going to get an upgrade about now, because he's got 150 gas. So, yep, there we go. Starts the armor upgrade. This is usually indicative that he's not quite sure what he wants to do yet. So he doesn't want to commit to an attack upgrade. It means the roaches, hydras, zerglings, everything on the ground benefits from it, as opposed to just half of them. So that's really powerful in and unto itself. The Mothership Core being used for vision here, allowing this Overlord to die. This is bad news for Bly, but good news for Welmu, because he means he gets to kill an Overlord. Should have sent 1 sentry the other way, though, because now these sentries are literally going the longest possible. Look, okay, Welmu sent 1 that side, 1 that side. Honestly, just 1 each side. Now I'll be fine. This Overlord is doing a perilous dance, but will unfortunately explode. And why? This is like a little side thing, because not much is going on in the production tab. Does blood not splatter onto cliffs? Why not? It should. That'd be awesome. But yep, anyway, Lair coming down, halfway done on the +1 carapace. The second gas is down, the third base nearly completed. Welmu, not really committing to much else. He's got 3 gateways, so he can put on a little bit of pressure. He's gone for the photon cannon and the complete pylon wall off there. So this just means with the proxy pylon, he can really put on some pain to this third base. And with only Zerglings out at the moment, specifically no roaches yet, this could do quite a bit. But some Zerglings do scout this push coming in. Nice little spot here. Force fields may be needed, but no, for the moment there's not enough Zerglings there. Bly wasn't going to commit to it, but he now knows what's coming. 22 Zerglings on their way. Unfortunately, with a good number of sentries, force fields are going to be swish. And swish force fields means dead Zerglings, pretty much. Needs to be keeping an eye out, though, for as these reinforcements come in. One thing that he could always do is just go force field across that entire ramp, and then just kill the hatchery. Wouldn't be too bad in the slightest. There goes down some force field straight away. Boxing in all of the sentries, making sure they are safe-like. The Mothership Core getting up a couple of kills, doing a little bit of damage here. Unfortunately, a couple of Zerglings were in with the sentries there, so a lot of them did go down, but so many Zealots here. This third hatchery definitely needs to die, though, to make this push worthwhile for Welmu, because behind it, he's just got off a robotic facility, getting out an observer, but he will get the kill on the hatch, and can just mass recall out if he wants to, if he sees anything too dangerous coming. And once he sees these 12 roaches, that is what I imagine he will do. He won't want to do too much more. Zealots don't engage very well against roaches, even with beautiful force fields like those, and he wants to keep as much of his army alive as possible, but also he wants to buy himself some time because he's getting up a robotic space, teching into Colossi, some speedlings coming for a counter push, but with the complete wall off, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. More roaches are here, a lot of roaches getting pumped out. 16 will be on the field shortly. Burrow coming down, so some Burrow micro is potentially viable, and there's just not enough stalkers to engage against these roaches, so it'd be a very brave move to engage. And there's the mass recall as the Zerglings do start coming through. So Welmu ultimately there dealt a decent amount of damage, just under double the resources lost for Bly compared to Welmu, but the most important thing is he stopped the third base, putting him on equal bases as his opponent, and actually ahead by 3 workers. So really good economical position for Welmu, who's teched up behind it, and is now, with +1 ground armor nearly done and +1 carapace complete, getting himself into a really lovely upgrade advantage, in addition to the tech advantage, in addition to the bases and the economic advantage, and just means that going into this game, Bly has got to do some damage with this push, but with so much energy on this Mothership Core, Photon Overcharge would just allow him to do so much damage before any real problems came about. Some force fields being used. I'm surprised Photon Overcharge not triggered. This could be a little bit too brave from Welmu, but there we go, it is triggering now. That means that with the force fields, quite a few of these roaches are getting trapped. There's also an Immortal there, so the damage output to those armored units is going to be absolutely tremendous. There's also this War Prism coming in with the 4 Zealots. Really nice play. First Colossus is getting Chrono boosted out, but with the Photon Cannon done and obviously the upgrades finished, that Forge dying doesn't really matter. And with the Zealot counter push, some damage is going to go down. There's a couple of roaches here, but the Zealots are being used very productively. Get a couple of kills, well, they don't really, but they get to delay some mining time. I thought they got a few kills there, but Welmu, he's still on equal basis. He's coming for a bit of Zealot harass into this third multi-pronging with the War Prism and obviously the pylon at the other side. Just means that the defensive forces are going to be split in 2, and as they all pull down towards this third to deal with just 3 Zealots, well, 4 Zealots are about to appear in the main base, and this is where some more drones could potentially die. Bly not pulling anything quite yet, going instead for the Queen, but not going to be able to do so as the roaches come in to defend that. The first Colossus on its way across. Welmu not expanding at the moment, putting a pylon down, so just kind of giving the impression that I might be wanting to shortly, but creep generating just means that a couple of stalkers or sentries will be needed. We see the Bly taking a very brave 4th base up here, hidden out to the side. The stalkers getting taken out now, running away. The proxy pylon will go down, putting it into this harassment, but unfortunately, with more units coming in, this push is already looking quite scary. The rest of the roaches are on a beeline towards that third base and also the pylon there, but there just doesn't seem to be enough to defend. Bly is behind in supply. He hasn't been able to mine out this third base yet, and if it goes down, he's going to be in a massive amount of problems. There's the Immortal here, there's more units coming across the map. The only thing really missing is the war pins, but the war pins are being used at the main base, splitting Bly into 2 places at once. We can see from the army supply that he is behind by quite a lot, being forced to make 4 spine crawlers in a bit of a panic move, and this is where the damage will start getting done. The force field doesn't quite trap everything, but a Zealot does get in the way, traps quite a few drones. The main base is taking quite a bit of damage. A lot of workers going down, 31 already killed. Things are looking terribly bad for the Zerg player, and as we can see with the Immortals here, with the Colossi, and no sign of a counter-attack at all, Bly is in a huge amount of problems, and I think Welmu should be able to do this now very, very comfortably. Force field preventing reinforcements, preventing the escape of these roaches. They're desperately trying to kite steal as much damage as they can, but the Colossus stays up. The two Immortals are there, not taking any fire at all, just dishing out a lot of damage. Mutalisks are on the field, but 5 Mutas up against 15 Stalkers. Nah, not gonna happen. The Spire, the main base, all gonna go down. All really Bly can hope for is that he gets some miracle engagement with these Mutas, picking off any stray unit he can. These drones though, they're gonna go down very quickly, even just the Immortals and the Stalkers, ripping them apart. Only a handful of drones remain at the moment. There is this hidden 4th base, the 3rd base is up and running, but Bly knows he won't come back from this. GG, well played, and game 3, taking the score 2-1, goes to Welmu. So congratulations to him. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the cast, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so I'll catch each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new game. I'm Madals, see you then, bye for now.